I'm sure if you've watched our YouTube videos, you'll see that we have a new addition to the family there. If I can just put it there, right? So most of the time when we speak to our clients, we have two situations over here, whereby you have a rental apartment block, right? That gives you an income of 11,500, and then you have one apartment, looks really nice, and now you also have the same 11,500, right? Assuming that they are both cash flow positive, which one would you say that this one is more risky than the other one? If I may put it to the floor. Is this one more risky than this one? Which one is more riskier? Yeah. As a beginner, right, we are starting to buy our properties right now. So I'd like to know that with the first one, it's just one apartment, put it 3-bedroom, and then the income is 11,500. Whereas on option 2, you have 12 units, and you're still collecting 11,500 for the whole thing. So now, say for instance, if the both cash flow from both properties are giving you, hypothetically speaking, both properties are actually giving you round about the same. Which one is more risky than the other one? Can we just say, just by a show of hands, who would invest in option number 1? Okay, then option number 2? Sure, so it's a balance. So when I'm actually going to be investing in a property, I want to share the responsibility among the people that are actually living in the property. And now I get the fact that with this one, the apartment block might be the one that has more work in it. However, if you're looking at it from a perspective that if you have a power team or if you have people that are actually helping you, then you don't actually have to worry about anything. So if you go to an estate agency and just ask them for a management company, so what they'll do is that they will actually manage everything that comes to the property that you have.
So it's 11,500, right? So you're saying that, we're saying a tenant left 1-1, right?
Yeah.
1 month.
Yeah.
So we're doing both for you so that you can see. Yeah, we're doing both. So it's 11,500, yeah?
Yes. So now we have 11,500 that we collect on a monthly basis, right?
Option 1.
So yeah, for option 1.
Okay.
So now our tenant moves out and we don't have a tenant for the next month, right? So fortunately enough, the next month, let's put months to it. We don't have a tenant for June, right? And then the person says that they're willing to actually come in July, right? So basically means that in June we're not actually collecting everything, yet our expenses are still running, right? July we put in somebody and then they're going to be paying us the first month plus deposit, right? Which means that it's 11,500 multiplied by 2, right? How much is that? So we have 23,000. So now what a lot of property investors do is that
230.
Big numbers, guys. Sorry. Okay, so it's 23,000 that's coming into my account, right? So where a lot of property investors go wrong is that they think that they have 23,000 because they got 23,000. Remember, half of that needs to go to an interest-bearing account. So if you do have a tenant, tenants can come any day and say that, can I please just see the statement? So now if you don't have that money in an interest-bearing account, you can actually go to Syspet and tell them that my landlord used all of my money and now it's not there. So can I actually look at that? Being a tenant, that 11,500 could be sitting in your interest-bearing account and getting interest, right? So now if you're giving it to this person and it's just sitting there, then why? Sure. What's going on? So this amount needs to go into an interest-bearing account, right? And you can actually ask or request for that. You can actually request for that. So now the problem is that now as the property investor, the 11,500 is going to the interest-bearing account. How much are you left with? 0.
It's not the end of it.
The other 11,500 went to the agent. So by the time the money comes into you, the agent already took their cut. So all you're just going to get is 11,500 that you need to put into the interest-bearing account. So as a property investor, that one.
So can we close it correctly, right? In terms of let's annualize it, put it in an annual state, right? So if I'm looking at this in a year, let's just say that I missed 1 month of rent. How does that look on numbers for option 1?
Okay, so if you missed out on 1 month, that basically means that you collected rent for 10 months, right? Because it's the 1 month when there was nobody in your property, and then it's the other one whereby you needed to pay the agent. So basically means that you actually collected 10 months, not really 12 months.
So the estate agent one differs, right? So let's say, for instance, I'm working with Ivan, and Ivan tells me that he can place in somebody today, but however, he'll charge me a month's commission, a month's commission. So that's, others will say half, others will say a full month. So it depends upon who you got, man, and how you negotiated it.
So we're in June right now.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody. So we missed out on the first 11,500. Everybody's with me, right? We go on to the next one in July, and now our agent got someone to actually live in the property. But now the thing for them to move into the property, they need to pay first month rent plus that particular month, the deposit. So it's the deposit and that month that you're going to be living in, which basically means that this is multiplied by 2. So 11,000 multiplied by 2 will give you 23,000, right?
Yeah.
Level, can I just make a note that the June-July situation that Level is working with, 1 month without a tenant is a very rare case scenario, because
Yeah.
when you lose a tenant and you go to an agent and you ask, okay, I need a tenant, they're going to take their time to market, they're still going to have viewings. So the 1 month is if an agent will really pull a rabbit out of the hat. At most 6-5 months for you to get a new tenant, especially for 11,500.
Okay.
Sure.
So the tenant pays, right? So the rabbit was pulled out of the hat. And we get the 23,000, right? Supposedly, the tenant or the person that's actually going to move in pays in the 23,000, right? So what would happen is that 23, depending on the conversation between yourself and the agent, sometimes they do allow that the tenant pays directly to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes through the agent, right? So the 23 comes into your account. But now remember, you need to pay the estate agent, the agent commission, right? Agent commission is 11,000. So we are really left with 11,500. This 11,500 needs to go where? An interest-bearing account.
Yeah.
So, technically speaking, this is not yours. So, it means that you need to pay for that month whereby this amount was at the interest-bearing account. How many months do we have? We have 12, right? So, if we're going to be minusing the first 11,500 and this 11,500, basically means that you can only collect 10 times again. So, that's 11,000 multiplied by 10.
Okay, 115.
11,500 multiplied by 10. It gives us
115.
5.
000. Guys, are we together so far? We haven't lost anyone. Okay.
Okay, so this is the amount that you really collected in that particular year. Right? We together, right? Okay, so now let's look at how much would we have actually collected if we were looking at the whole year. Could you please just say 11,500 multiplied by 12?
Yeah.
So right now what I'm trying to do is to see that what is the percentage that we really collected. 138,000.
Straight, yeah.
Okay. So if you say this amount divided by this amount, how much do you get? So we collected 83%, right? So I want you to keep this in mind, this 83%, right? 13,800. Okay.
Minus. Yeah. Yeah.
1,960.
Yes, 1916.
Then it will be 136,040.
Ah.
Nine.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I see.
100?
I see.
Yes, 136,000.
36,000.
136,040.
Yeah. 040. So now can we just
can we please explain it from here so that at least we're all on the same? Yeah.
Okay.
I think we lost.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of people.
You're making a loss from the 2 apartments, right?
It's just one apartment for 2 months.
For one apartment.
It's
Yeah.
one apartment for 2 months.
Can we please get people from here, from this point?
Okay, cool.
From
So
here.
remember
Guys,
the last time
please bear with us. I know
It's numbers.
numbers.
numbers become a bit of a problem. So let's look at this 13800, right? Remember we said, how did we get to this? We said this, the 11,500 multiplied by 12, right? And we got to the 138,000. So now if everything was going well, I would have collected this amount. Everybody understands that part, right?
Yeah.
So now, if that's the case, and now I only collected this amount for that particular year on this property, rather, shouldn't you be minusing the loss that you actually did?
Loss.
You should be minusing the loss, right? Sure. So if you minus the loss, which is 1916, 1916, how much do you get? You get this. Oh, okay, cool. You get this. So remember, on the first scenario, okay, we collected 83%, right? So now let's look at, as a percentage, how much did we actually collect on this particular one, right? So we'd say the 136,040 divided by the 13800, how much do you get?
Times 100.
Times 100. 98.5. 98.5. So looking at that apartment, you'd be collecting 98%. Then looking at this one, the one bedroom, you'd be actually collecting 83%. So linking it back to what we were actually speaking about when we started, that what type of tactic are you actually going to be employing as a property investor? Are you going to be putting yourself in this situation whereby you have the 83%, or would you rather have the 98%? And now looking at this from a business stance, this actually makes more sense for me as a business person, whereby if I'm actually doing this 83%, I mean, the risk is there, but now, was it really worth it? And now I understand that for most of property investors, the reason why we are afraid to actually go into the apartment buildings is because we're thinking that if there's 11 clients, I need to collect with all 11 clients. But now remember, if you do have a power team that can actually show you how to run numbers, that can actually be the ones that are actually collecting the rentals from everybody in that property, then it becomes easier for you as the property investor. Three, two, one, invest like a pro!